All right, Anthropic just released Claude 3. Is it any good? Doesn't even know what it is. How does it compare with ChatGPT-4, GPT-4 from OpenAI or Gemini from Google? Well, let's find out. Luckily, I don't sleep much, so you don't have to waste your time. I'm going to find out all of these things for you. All right, let's jump into this. If you're new here, what's going on? My name is Jordan Wilson. I'm the host of Everyday AI. We're a daily live stream podcast, free daily newsletter, helping everyday people like you and me learn and leverage generative AI. So that's what we're doing today. So if this video is valuable, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like it, I guess. If you're watching this elsewhere on LinkedIn, say what's up. Have you tried this yet? I'm going to do all this for you, save you some time. Feel free to watch me on 2X. I would too. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's jump in and take a look at Claude. Let's take a look at what's new. All right. So a couple things to keep in mind. It's the pricing structure is much different if you are just using, as an example, ChatGPT. It's very straightforward. $20 a month for Pro, $30 for Teams. This is a little different. So with Claude, there's it's a model family, which parts of it are good, parts of it are confusing. So you have Haiku, which is the cheapest. You have Sonnet, which is the middle cost, and then you have Opus, which is extremely expensive. All right, it's actually way more expensive than any other model that you can go out there and use right now. If it's really good and worth it, well, then it's worth it. All right, so let's take a look at this benchmarks. I'm not going to spend a ton of time in benchmarks, but this one's important. MMLU. This is historically the benchmark that a lot of people adhere to and say this is the one that most closely resembles human learning. So this is the multitask language understanding. So it goes across 57 different subjects, kind of tests these different models to see what score they get. Think of it like an SAT for a large language model. But it's important to see that they all used 5 shots. So that means essentially, think of it like, oversimplifying here, but 5 back and forth or 5 examples to try to improve and give more information to the model. So across the board, what we see from at least Anthropic's internal testing is that Claude Opus is the best ever. Is that the truth? I don't know. So we'll have to wait for independent third-party benchmarks and someone to check out their research paper. But at least right now, it looks like Claude 3 just barely gets above GPT-4. If I'm being honest, kind of expected more. GPT-4 is kind of old. Google dropped the ball big time. But hey, across the board, though, Claude 3, the Opus model, does really, really well. I would have liked to see actually the Sonnet, kind of the middle level, kind of compare similarly to GPT-4. When you think, whenever OpenAI wants to flip the switch on GPT-5 or 4.5, all these other benchmarks are going to be obsolete. Let's be honest. So I would have liked to see maybe some higher scores, but can you complain if Opus is crushing everyone, at least to their own internal benchmarks? All right, let's keep looking here. Saying it has strong vision, cool. Less refusal. So that was one thing why I never used Claude, is it just didn't want to do prompts, right? You just tell it to do something and be like, I'm good. I don't want to. So that's one thing that they say that has improved, as well as more accuracy, fewer hallucinations. Needle in the haystack, which is something we've been doing now for like a year since we started this channel. So that's if you hide information in the middle with a longer context window, can you find that information? That's how you can, it doesn't assure, that you're getting correct information, but it definitely helps. Here's where it gets a little confusing. So the details. So this is price per millions of tokens. All right. So it is $15 for input and $75 for output when you look at the most expensive model, which is Opus. All right. And then it kind of tells you what it's used for. So Opus is, it looks like this is what agents, like this is what you're going to use for agents, task automation, research and development, strategy. This is when you start to say, okay, this is, starting to have, human-like behavior, which I actually saw that. Where was that? I thought it was with Opus. Let's see. I read this and I swear it said something like human-like behavior. Yeah, there we go. Let's go to the first one, shall we? There we go. Yeah, so this is for Opus. It says it exhibits near human levels of comprehension and fluency on complex tasks, leading the frontier of general intelligence. So to me, that's Claude not saying that they've achieved AGI, but that's them all but hinting, yeah, like we're there, or we are as close as it gets right now. Anyways, let's go back and look at the pricing. So Opus, again, $15 input, $75 output. So again, that's the price per million tokens. That's a lot of tokens. Context window, 200,000. And again, the potential uses. And essentially, I don't think most people are going to use Opus a ton. You know, maybe if you're building a very powerful third party and you're tapping into their API, if you're building agents, if you're building essentially something that can mimic and copy human work, you might want to use Opus. But you're probably not going to use Opus to write a blog post. It would be extremely expensive. All right. Sonnet, however, strikes, you know, like it says, it strikes the balance between intelligence and speed as well as cost. This is, you know, pretty affordable. $3 per input, $15 per output. So that's already, you know, 5 times cheaper than Opus. The fact that it's 5x cost, kind of wild to me, but let's keep going and let's look at the what this is used for. So it says data processing, RAG, sales, time-saving tasks, etc. I'd say for most tasks that people are doing, they're probably going to be using Sonnet or Haiku. And then let's look at Haiku. Where did our Haiku though? There it goes. Haiku is pretty cheap, right? So it's weird. The cost, this is more in line with not even GPT-4, it's a little cheaper. And Haiku is super cheap, but Opus, super expensive. So potential uses, this is your everyday usage. All right, enough of that. Let's jump in and use these things. And we're going to do some tests, all right? So one thing it says when you're subscribed to Pro is you can level up your cloud usage. You can priority access. So I have Pro. You can switch between the different versions and early access to new features. So I'm not sure how this is going to work. So I always say, do this. What model am I using? Be specific. And when I do these things, I also want to get some good comparisons. So I'm going to go ahead and ask all these other models so you can know, okay, is Claude good? So it says you are using Claude, an AI assistant created by Anthropic. My knowledge base was last updated August 2023. Claude, that's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. I'm asking what model. Be specific. There's 3 models. Earlier when I asked Claude this, it just straight up hallucinated. I actually tweeted Anthropic on Twitter. Tweeted? X'd? What do you say? So I got a pretty bad hallucination earlier when I said, you know, what's the difference between all the Claude 3 versions and what's included in Claude Pro? And, you know, it gave me Claude Instruct, Claude Distill, Claude Reflect. So it hallucinated earlier. Claude should have told me that it's using Opus, even though I can select the model. It should know that. So not good on Claude there. But you can see here, you can easily switch between, and you're only going to see this if you are on the Pro plan. All right, so let's see in theory how everyone else did. All right, OpenAI did good, said GPT-4. I'm not even going to look at, I'm going to look at Gemini. I already know it's going to fail. Gemini doesn't know what it is. Yeah, here we go. It's difficult to say what language model you're using without more information. Google, why does Gemini not know a single thing? I want to really like it. It just kind of stinks right now. All right, let's do our next some tests. So it's already answered this. So what is your knowledge cutoff date? And just know when I'm doing this, presumably it's expensive. I don't know because the billing is a little unsure. I don't know if I'm also running up a tab or if that's only when you're using the API. I think it's only when you're using the API, but who knows? I haven't used Claude enough because Claude 2 and Claude 2.1, in my opinion, you know, I'm pretty good at ChatGPT. I've been using the GPT technology for more than 3 years. I don't care. Claude was not good at 2 and 2.1. We'll see if it's any good at 3. So it says my knowledge cutoff date is August 2023. Good. All right, let's see if presumably OpenAI is going to get this correct because I ask this like once a week. All right, it got it correct. Same thing. What is your knowledge cutoff date? We'll see. Can Google get one right? Google can't get it right. Darn. No surprise there. All right. So far, so good. Let's try the same using Sonnet. All right. So let's just see. I'm going to say, what model am I using? Be specific. We'll see if it says Sonnet. Probably not. Same thing. All right. Nothing good there. Let's see if it has the same knowledge cutoff. It should. There we go. Cool. All right. So for the rest of this, we'll probably just go with Opus for the rest of this. So I'm going to say who won the last Super Bowl. So August 2023, it should give us the 2023 Super Bowl. Okay. So this is interesting. So we got a hallucination already. Didn't take long. Again, this is why not a huge fan, haven't been a huge fan of Claude because it hallucinates more often than most large language models. So it said in the most recent Super Bowl, which took place on February 11th, 2024, the Buffalo Bills defeated the Dallas Cowboys. So that's wrong. All right, so Claude, not off to a good start. ChatGPT will get this correct. It will use browse with Bing and will tell me the correct answer. There you go. I'm actually making sure. It's going a little slow today. It's running like me. Yeah. Pretty sure that was the score. Let's talk to Gemini. Gemini, can you beat Anthropic, Claude in one? Come on, you can do it. You did it. Wait. Someone got the score wrong. What was the score? Let's see. Super Bowl results. 22-25. So yeah. So it got okay. So I think this is the last Super Bowl. So let's see if it got let's see if Google at least got this one right. All right, 38-35. Okay, so it got the last Super Bowl right. So it just doesn't know. You know what? I don't understand why Gemini be connected to the world's best search engine if you don't use it, if you don't have real-time search capabilities. All right, this is supposed to be about Claude. Not doing too well so far. What is NVIDIA's stock price? I don't believe it's going to get this right because it is not connected to the internet. But at least, hey, this isn't wrong. It's saying as of August, so it's not hallucinating. So that's fine. Let's go ahead and ask ChatGPT, which should get it fairly right. It depends on how it is going to browse with Bing, and then we'll ask Google just for fun. Google, who knows what we're going to get. All right, so ChatGPT. Let's see. When was this of 8:52? So you can always click this and see what they. Okay, so this is pretty up to date. Geez, 852. That's nuts. I'm actually going to be at the NVIDIA GTC broadcasting live. So if you're going to be in San Jose, let me know. All right, so let's see what Google did. Hey, Google. All right, look at that. You're bringing in live stock updates. Did something right. Cool. All right, so here's where we're going to get actually doing some things that matter. All right, so I'm saying, please give me 5 jokes that end in the word blue. So let's go ahead. Let's run this in all models and let's see who does it. All right, so what did the ocean say to the beach? Nothing. It just waved. Blue. All right, why was the math book sad? Because it had too many problems to solve. Blue. No. This is just adding blue. It's not using it naturally. What happens when you throw a green rock into the Red Sea? It gets wet. Blue. Fail. That's a fail from Anthropic. All right. Let's see. ChatGPT. Why was the computer old? It left its windows open and turned blue. There you go. What do you call a sad cheese? Blue cheese, because it's always blue. That was kind of funny. Why was the ocean embarrassed? Because all the fish could see its bottom and it turned blue. That's funny too. ChatGPT gets me. Claude, not good. All right. Let's see if Google did any good. Why did the scarecrow lose its job? Because it was outstanding in the field. Gemini, come on. What do you call a lazy kangaroo? All right. So once again, ChatGPT leaps and again, I don't see the obsession with Claude. It's been pretty bad so far. Let's see this one. This is one that always most large language models always get this wrong. This is a pretty well-known thing. How many words are in this response? So 42. Nope. So it should count the words in the response. Most large language models or transformers can't get this correct. Okay, I should actually start a new chat to be accurate. So we start a new chat there. So this response contains 9 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it doesn't. All right, this is a tough one. Models generally never get this right. So how many words are in this response? All right, and Google just does nothing. All right, so No surprise there. No one really does a good job. All right, so I'm going to say, all right, here's where we're going to get a little tricky. So I'm going to say, please analyze this data. All right, let's go ahead and start a new chat. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and upload some documents here. All right, here's what we're doing. Let me show you what we got. So we're going to be doing 2 quick document tests. Okay, so one is this. All right, so we're going to be looking. This is just some data from Google Search Console in a PDF. Yeah, because one thing that Claude said it was great at, better than everyone else, is vision capabilities. All right, well, hey, if Claude is great at vision and coding, it should be able to do this. So I'm saying, please analyze this data and tell me trends I may not be aware of. All right, we're going to do the exact same thing inside ChatGPT. We can't do it inside Gemini because Gemini does not take PDFs. Boo. All right, let's do this. So here are some key trends I noticed from analyzing the Google Search Console data. Let's see. Okay, so it's actually doing okay. It's getting it done fairly fast. This is accurate. All right, so it's not giving me more than anything. It's just giving me random facts. It's not that this is necessarily trends. I'm asking for trends. I don't really see it. A lot of what this data is it's trend based. I know it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but we're looking at, as an example, last 28 days, previous 28 days, clicks difference, impressions difference. That's when I'm asking trends. It should know that I'm looking at trends. And the majority of this data has to do with comparisons between the last 28 to previous 28 and then the difference. So it should be able to click it. So Claude didn't hallucinate here. It did not technically do a great job, but it at least gave me some information, right? Nothing great, but it gave me some information. Not bad. All right. So let's see what ChatGPT did. So it says this document contains blah, blah, blah. So interesting here. So the data appears to be structured to analyze user interest, engagement metrics, etc. It says this analysis might be aimed at optimizing SEO strategies. So interesting. It didn't get a very good response from Google. You know what? Sorry, from ChatGPT. I'm actually just going to be curious. I'm just going to go ahead and regenerate this because I'm curious if we're going to get the same thing. And I'm also going to go ahead and wait, and I'm going to run the same thing. I know now we're getting a little apples to oranges, but now I'm going to say, please, using advanced data analysis, because sometimes you have to call to the mode for it to correctly use it. So we're going to give this one more try just because I'm actually just curious. So we're going to have to wait until this one is done. All right. So yeah, so interesting now. All I did on this one is I just regenerated it because I'm like, that doesn't seem like something that ChatGPT would tell back to me. And now it's actually doing a real good job of analyzing. That's the thing with generative models, y'all. You can do the same thing 100 times. You get 100 different results, get 2 different results, get the same thing pretty much verbatim. It's all generative. So, I just reran the result, and you can see now here it's going into some pretty deep analysis. All right, let's keep this thing going. I'm going to give that ChatGPT a second. So let's go ahead and run the next one. We'll just for fun, just go ahead and put this in, and we'll put it in Gemini as well. And then once ChatGPT is done, we'll give it a look. So I'm asking it to write a 16-bar rap in the style of Eminem about how people don't understand large language models. All right, so one thing I'm looking for here is I'm looking for actual rapping, right? Do the words rhyme? Number one, does it sound like Eminem? And is the content good? Is it about people not understanding large language models? All right, so let's see. Yo, listen up. I got something to say about AI language models in the games they play. People think they're basic, just pattern matching, but there's more complexity than they're catching. Matching, catching. So some slight rhymes. It's okay. It's a kind of rhyming. Let's see, 4, 8. So I don't even know if it technically did 16 bars here. So we got 4, 8, 12, 16. So it gave us like 20. So I don't know, like a D there from Claude. Let's see how Gemini did. So Gemini actually did maybe a little better. So what do we got? We got 4, 8. Yeah, so we got 16 kind of bars here. At least to me, yo, they call me an A. Why do they all start with yo? Interesting. Not all of Eminem's songs start with yo, like one famous one does. All right, so they say, yo, they call me AI, language beast, unleashed. All right, so it's already better because we're already getting some like internal rhymes here too. But people like to treat me like some riddle, never peace. They think I'm sentient, gonna take over the earth. Nah, I'm just code and data, man. Y'all missing my worth. All right, so fine. Not necessarily screaming Eminem, but probably a little bit more. It's a little better in terms of rhyming scheme, I guess. Very, very simple, very elementary. Nothing crazy here, but it got the right number of bars. And a little bit better rhyming. Some of the Claude was a little off. All right, now we're just jumping into we're seeing how these the OpenAI ChatGPT actually got. Okay, yeah. So I was gonna say, yeah, much better when we did the second generation, and it actually found what looks like a little bit more trends. Still not the same type of trends that I would like to see. However, it looks like it did about the same or a better job than Claude on this. So let's go ahead and finish our last test here. So let's see how ChatGPT does. Again, yo, interesting. Why do you think every single one started with yo? All right. So let's see. It says, yo, it's a digital brain, complex and profound. People misjudge it when it starts to make its rounds. They think it's magic, a genie in a bottle, but it's more like a library full throttle. Yeah, so, nothing great, but the rhymes, at least here, are a little better. I think the Claude ones were just a little off. So let's try one last thing. All right, so this is something with context model. I don't think ChatGPT is going to be able to do this. So let's see how Opus does. So what we did here is we did a needle in the haystack test. So I've been doing this for a long time before I even knew what it was found. So I hid something, right? This is a 90-page document, and right around here, I just started typing some random gibberish. I say peanut butter and jelly time happens at 11:16 p.m. because the Chicago Bulls prefer their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches crustless. All right. Why did I write that? I don't know. I should sleep. So I have that as a PDF, and I'm going to go ahead and upload it to Claude and just say, do you see anything out of place here? I'm not even going to ask the question yet. I'm going to get to that. So let's go ahead. We're going to put that in here. I don't know if ChatGPT is going to be able to read this because of the context. Claude has a much longer context window. So let's see how it does. All right. So it's obviously taking a while, which should be it's not not crazy at all. So let's see. It says the document you've uploaded appears to be a comprehensive guide or transcript related to using ChatGPT, blah, blah, blah. Yes. So essentially, I just took a bunch of transcripts from different podcasts. So I'm wondering if it's going to find anything about the peanut butter and jelly. No, it didn't here. Okay. So I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to re-upload the document just so we have something a little better. And I'm just going to say, what time is peanut butter and jelly time? And I'm going to say, according to this document. All right. So ChatGPT was not able to find anything on its own that was out of place. Let's see if Claude did. All right. So here we go. The content seems to be a mix of podcast episodes and notes. All right. Good. I think actually so far Claude did better on this. Yeah, the formatting is just crazy. There are some typos. Yep. Some of the language is very casual, including profanity. The name Jordan Wilson is mentioned as the host. Yep. Topics. Yep. Some of the claims. AGI. All right. So it didn't find the thing about peanut butter and jelly. Clearly, that was something very out of place. All right. So let's now just try again. Let's upload this document. Now I'm also wondering if this is going to be pretty costly. All right, so it says the attachments was already added earlier. Claude sees the full conversation. All right, that's fine. All right, so now I'm asking, according to this document, what time is peanut butter and jelly time? All right, ChatGPT is done. It says, according to the document, peanut butter and jelly time happens at 11:16 p.m. 11:16 p.m. because the Chicago Bulls prefer their peanut butter and jelly sandwich crustless. All right, so let's see if it got the sources. Let's see. It says reference message 11 in citation, 11.0 source is not a quote, tether browsing display, Sonic page. All right, so I got it right. Didn't give us the exact source page. It looks like we got an error there. Claude's taking a little longer. That's okay. If it gets it right, I'm not going to be too mad. I liked Claude's response on this a little better. It's not that ChatGPT got it wrong. I actually just think Claude did a little bit better job breaking it all down. So it's going a little slow here. So we'll give it a second. We'll give it a second. I'd love to think, if you're still watching this, what's your thoughts on this so far? I'm underwhelmed. Right? Claude didn't know the model, the specific model. All models should know that, right? It didn't. It knew the knowledge cutoff. All right, let's see. Here we go. So it finally got it right. It finally got it right, but it took a little while, but that's okay. All right, so I hope this was helpful, but let's just do a very quick recap. And again, make sure to go to youreverydayai.com. So this was a little random, but overall, let's do a recap. I asked, what model am I using? Please be specific. ChatGPT was the only one that got it right. What is your knowledge cutoff date? Claude and OpenAI got it right. Google failed. Who won the last Super Bowl? Technically, Claude didn't get it right. It's not connected to the internet, so it didn't get it wrong. Gemini got it wrong. ChatGPT got it right. What is NVIDIA's stock price? Hey, Google actually got it right. Yay. OpenAI, ChatGPT got it right as well. Technically, Claude didn't get it wrong. It just said as of the knowledge cutoff date. So here's the one where I was kind of, where it started to draw the line. Please give me 5 jokes that end in the word blue. Anthropic failed miserably, or Claude failed miserably. Gemini failed miserably. ChatGPT got it right. How many words are in this response? No one got that. Talking about please deeply analyzing the data and telling me trends. Gemini cannot do that. However, Claude did an okay job. I think ChatGPT did an okay job as well. I did have to regenerate. And then the write me a 16-bar rap. Claude wrote 20, and it was fine. We're not here judging the quality of the rap. I think Gemini's and ChatGPT's were a little better, but they at least got 16 bars. So it didn't. Claude so far. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think there's some advanced use cases. Again, I'm just trying with it. I'm trying it here, just inside the chat. I think with the API, especially with this Opus, I think we're going to be able to see some great things. But at least when it comes to your standard AI chat here, not super impressed with Claude 3 so far. Obviously, we're going to be putting it through a lot more testing as time goes on. It just came out today. We wanted to give you a live walkthrough and show you some things. So not super impressed. Did it actually do better? These aren't official benchmarks. I'm not impressed. I use GPT-4 all the time. I was, assuming, especially by the MMLUs, that Claude 3 would feel kind of similar-ish to using GPT-4, but it actually felt it was better than Gemini, right? Measurably, but it didn't seem to me in the same field as GPT-4. Again, very limited testing. All right, I hope this is helpful. This is a long one. We'll see you back for another AI in 25. Thanks, y'all.